something I struggle with, so I focus on this, is dialogue. I really have a hard time making it sound authentic. So a lot of times, actually all the time, I like to eavesdrop. I'll go hang out at movie theaters or cafes, anywhere where teens are hanging out, and just kind of listen to how they're talking so that I can make sure my dialogue sounds authentic, and that I'm making sure my teens sound like actual teens, because a lot of times they sound more like me, a 35-year-old woman. So if that's something you struggle with, go eavesdrop on teens. There you go. Thank you. Good question. Anybody? Oh, we have one more back here.
Our favorite book, probably of any genre, is This Guy Is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. The Sky is Everywhere. It's just such an amazing, beautiful book that, I mean, I could never write that book, ever. And it's amazing.
Yeah, I love Steph Perkins. I just love the sweet fluffiness of it. We also really like Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. It's kind of borderline YA, like it's sort of an adult concept, but with teen protagonists, and it's gonna rip your heart out and stomp on it and then dance around like celebratory. But it's worth it. Like she breaks your heart, and you're like, thank you. Like, may I have another? That's a really beautiful book.
I saw like 15 more as soon as I had it.
One of my favorite YA series is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I love that series. I think because the first time I read it, I felt so much like Belly, the main character. She's this awkward, dirty little girl who has this crush on this boy who's older, and she's had this crush on him forever. And finally, one summer, she turns pretty. I mean, she's always beautiful, but he finally notices her. And I remember feeling that way as a teenager. This guy I had this crush on finally noticed me, and you know, I think every once in a while you find a book where you just think, that's me, that's my story, and that's The Summer I Turned Pretty for me.
And then my last question was, what kind of fan fiction do you guys write? Non-YA.
I just really want to write kissing. That's basically it. And so I wrote Twilight fanfiction and Harry Potter fanfiction. Just because those were really the only fandoms that I was into, you know, at the time. Lo has really good Hunger Games fanfiction.
I do. I mean, I don't have really good Hunger Games fanfiction. I have Hunger Games. It's really good. No, I have two that are still up, and I wrote Twilight, and I think I wrote something else, but anyway. Yeah. And you know, the fandom is a funny thing. Like, you guys are nodding back there, so I feel like you understand. But there's like an element of like, this is so awesome to be here, and there's also the sort of like, this is our quiet little secret, you know? And especially when it's Twilight, and especially when you're like a grown woman and you're writing about like 17-year-old vampire, like, you know, there's a secret shame spiral that happens, but the cool thing is, like, we met all these amazing women, and we were just like, hey, we are all idiots together. This is awesome. And I'm like grateful for fandom, you know, it's a big deal, so.